when Jimin chose Jungkook. The true story behind BTS behind the stage and the camera, there is a story that is rarely seen. The story of two people who find each other's home in the midst of a life that is never really calm. Jimin and Jungkook, the two members of BTS who are often said to be the closest emotionally, not only become friends, but also become each other's shelter when the world is too noisy. This story is not about recognition, nor is it about sensation. This is a story about choices made in silence. Jimin's choice of someone he not only sees as a group mate, but also as a crutch, a reminder of direction, and perhaps someone who makes him feel alive in a different way. Jimin and Jungkook are both from Busan. But when they first met in Big Hit's rehearsal room, the two were almost strangers. Jungkook is a very talented but introverted shy boy, while Jimin has just entered with a passionate spirit, still learning to adjust. Jimin admitted on several occasions that he was interested in watching Jungkook because the maknae seemed to be always aloof. But it was not pity that prompted him to approach, it was curiosity and admiration. "I wanted to get to know him more," Jimin said in one of the documentaries, "because he made me feel good just by being around him." Their closeness didn't happen instantly. It takes a lot of time, late-night conversations, even small quarrels. But slowly, Jimin has always been a figure who makes Jungkook more open. It is not only encouraging, but also soothing. He not only becomes a supportive hyung, but also a friend who understands Jungkook's hidden fears. In various interviews and BTS documentaries, it is clear that Jimin has always had a special place for Jungkook. From defending Jungkook when he was criticized for being young, to standing by him whenever the pressure of performing made BTS's maknae look fragile. Even when members have the option to choose partners in games or projects, Jimin often chooses Jungkook, not because of strategy, but for deeper reasons. In a BTS reality show, Jimin once said with a small smile, "If I'm with Jungkook, I feel like I can be myself." And on the contrary, Jungkook did not hesitate to show his comfort. He who is usually quiet will casually swing or rest his head on Jimin's shoulder. Not just a physical gesture, but a symbol of trust. In the midst of BTS's popularity, rumors and speculation about relationships between members are no strangers. The name Jungkook often appears on forums, discussed at length by fans. However, Jimin was never seen panicking or trying to deny it. He knew that his closeness with Jungkook was not for public proof. In one video, Jimin said, "Not everything has to be explained. The important thing is that we know how we feel." The words may be short, but their depth is immeasurable. Jimin never felt compelled to defend his choice. For him, Jungkook wasn't just an option. Jungkook is part of her soul. If Jimin ever chose Jungkook in sweet silence, then Jungkook replied in a language that was no less quiet but felt deep. Unlike other BTS members who are more expressive with words, Jungkook is known to be more quiet, thoughtful, and rarely really expresses his feelings verbally. But it was precisely from his lack of habit of speaking that every little movement and attention towards Jimin became very meaningful. When Jimin is tired, Jungkook is the one who secretly brings water or slips a small towel. When Jimin was injured due to overtraining, Jungkook was the first to thrust an arm in for a hug, even if no camera was on. During one of the training sessions for the tour, the staff had leaked that Jungkook refused to rest if he hadn't made sure Jimin was okay. He kept looking at Jimin from afar, as if he was not calm if he did not know his hyung's condition. Even more touching is how Jungkook began to change his way of interacting with the world due to Jimin's influence. He learns to be more patient, more open, and more subtly convey the contents of the heart. And in an international interview, when asked which member gave him the most sense of security and inspiration, Jungkook replied with sparkling eyes, "Jimin Hyung." Some ARMY believe that some of Jungkook's solo songs hold hidden messages for Jimin. One example is the song "Still With You," which was released during the pandemic. The lyrics are full of longing, warm and undemanding longing. Many felt the song was a form of virtual embrace, as if Jungkook were saying, "I'm here, waiting for you in silence." Not only that, in the lyrics of My You, a song written by Jungkook for the ARMY, There are several parts that are considered very personal and emotional. Lines like "all these lights are colored in by you" feel more personal when understood in the context of a close relationship that is not easily expressed. It's no wonder that many fans believe Jungkook's songs hold more than just compliments to fans. They are emotional memoirs written in sincerity. Conscription separates many people, even families. But for Jungkook and Jimin, the military service period actually showed how they were firmly bound to each other even from a distance. In a letter Jimin HYBE released a few months ago, he had written that "there is someone who is always on my mind, especially when the night is too quiet." Needless to mention the name, many felt it referred to Jungkook. And when Jungkook was hospitalized for a minor injury in a military camp, Jimin is said to have been one of the first to secretly send a personal letter of support. Some military personnel said Jungkook read the letter repeatedly before going to bed, even keeping it in his uniform pocket for days. Behind the thousands of camera flashes, millions of staring eyes, and loud applause from armies around the world, there are small moments that only the two of them know about. A look not captured by the camera, a quick touch protected behind the viewer's back, or a whisper that only they understand the meaning of. That's the quiet space they've built together, a small world that needs no public validation. For many, Jimin and Jungkook's closeness is a mystery that is difficult to explain. But for those who watch with their hearts, their relationship is another form of love, a love that grows without a script, flourishes without coercion, and endures selflessly. The world may change, careers may shift, even the stage may be lost, but as long as they keep each other in silence, this story will live on. Jungkook is not just a name in fan theory. They are stories about the courage to choose each other, even though the world does not always give space. Jungkook wrote, "Even if the world turns its back on us, I'll stay right here, still with you." This is the story of two hearts choosing each other, in silence, in noise, and perhaps, for good, silent love does not mean weak love. Precisely, in a world full of noise, secretly loving someone shows irreplaceable depth and sincerity. Jimin chose Jungkook not just as a partner on stage, but as an irreplaceable part of his life. And Jungkook replying to that choice not with words, but with his whole way of going through the day with and without her. Whatever the name of this relationship, be it deep friendship or love in its quietest form, their story is proof that in a changing world, there are fixed things. And one of them is Jimin and Jungkook. When Jimin chose Jungkook, he didn't do it through words. He didn't say, "I choose you," explicitly. But he shows it through the little things, from the way he stares, protects, encourages, to standing by Jungkook's side even when no one is looking, and maybe that's what makes this story so touching. Because in a world that demands that everything be announced, Jimin and Jungkook actually teach us about love that doesn't need validation. A love that lives in action, not just in speech. Their story is not finished. But one thing is certain, in every choice Jimin made, Jungkook's name was always on it.